Hello, hello, hello. I am your hostess with the mostest, Terrence Crystal, and welcome to the Triple Threat Podcast. Today, we are going to talk about everything in the arts that I love and I've seen, and it is another solo episode. Yes, it is just my voice again, so you're gonna have to get fucking used to it. Get used to it. Thanks. Yes. So, hi. How you guys been? This is probably going to be my last episode, and I am going to be away for the Christmas holidays next week. So I'll be back and I'll record a new episode for probably the new year, 2024. And I'll have a special episode where I will talk about my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, either the Triple Threat Podcast or me, Terrence Crystal, every year since oh my god, excuse me. Since I want to say 2016 or maybe 2017, I've done a top 10 of every year, and I posted on my Instagram. I always post it on New Year's Eve, and this year I will do the same on my Instagram, but I will also give an in-depth analysis on this podcast. Yeah, so I am doing really well at the moment. If any of you can relate, do you know that week before Christmas where you're either working or you're going to Christmas parties? So like I'm kind of that in between state now. Like I've had about 3 or 4 like Christmas shindigs this week. And another one tonight. So which is fun. It's always fun to do. I'm in my room. I have new pillows, which are amazing. I love pillows. Also, 2 things that I never realized were so expensive. And maybe this is just me being stupid. I think this is me being stupid, but I never realized that rugs and pillows are so expensive. Like, and good quality pillows. I mean, like the good shit. Like this stuff is like thick. Like she's thick. These new pillows I have are thick, and they were expensive. Not gonna lie. So, ew. I love my new pillows. But this episode, I'm gonna talk about briefly about 3 things. One thing is a new thing. A new wait. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a new thing that I literally just saw 2 days ago. And then for the other 2 items, it's going to be my favorite Christmas media that I love to consume during the Christmas holidays. Oh, yeah, Christmas. Sorry. Oh, yes. So, firstly, I am going to talk about a film that I saw 2 days ago that was 23 years in the making. And I am talking, of course, about the sequel to one of the greatest cinematic achievements of all time. In my opinion, nothing has come close to the iconicness and the absolute mark it's left in pop culture. I am talking about Chicken Run, The Dawn of the Nugget. Now, Chicken Run was a stop motion film that got released in 2000 by Aardman. And if you don't know Aardman is the creator of such iconic characters like Chicken Run, but also Wallace and Gromit, and also the rats from Flushed Away, the pirates who don't do the pirate movie, I remember. Then they did Early Man, also Shaun the Sheep. They're a stop motion animation company, and I love stop motion. I really love stop motion. I think it's one of my favorite genres of animation. And fun fact about Chicken Run, to this day, Chicken Run is the highest grossing stop motion animation film of all time, earning about 230 million at the box office, the global box office. Now, that's amazing. Chicken Run is one of those films where if it's ever playing, me and my family will just sit down and watch it. If it's halfway through, it's just starting. If we know it's going to be on, we just watch it. It's so funny, and it's also very kind of iconic in a sense. Like it kind of, I don't know, breaks the kind of norms of cinema storytelling. And it did this all before like really this was an idea. Cuz like so the story of the original Chicken Run is that these chickens are in a farm and they're trying to escape from the evil chicken farmers, the Tweedies. Mr. Tweedy. What is that chicken doing outside the fence? I think, is that a Yorkshire? Is that a Yorkshire accent? I want to know where. Wait a minute. I want to know where this is set. So where is Chicken Run set? Here we go. Here we go. Yorkshire. Yes. 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 Of course, it's Yorkshire. Yeah. So these chickens, they're all women chickens, and there's one rooster. And they are trying to escape. Ginger's trying to get everyone out. Ginger is like the leader of the chickens, and they're trying to get her out, trying to get everyone out, trying to escape, but they keep failing, because yeah, they just keep failing because they always get caught, or their plans always mess up, or because someone else in their group fucks up. It's very hard to get every single chicken out at the same time. So Ginger's like just consistently just like, we need to do this, we need to do this. And they kind of get to the end of their tether. And a kind of ultimate moment is of them needing to get out is you see a scene in Chicken Run. And actually, kind of rewatching it, it's quite a dark scene. It's where Mrs. Tweedy, who is one of the greatest villains of all time. She's so iconic. She is so cunt. Mrs. Tweedy is so cunt. She is serving chicken killer realness. She's serving that. And she comes out and they do roll call, and Mrs. Tweedy checks who's laying the most eggs. And she goes around, and all the chickens, they're laying their eggs. But there's one chicken, Edwina, yes. Edwina has missed several days of laying eggs because she's been focusing so much on escaping. And Mrs. Tweedy takes the chicken and it's just like, well, you're not laying your eggs, so you're no use to me, and chops her head off in quite a horrifying scene. And what I like about it is that it's a children's movie, but the reaction to Edwina being killed is felt. Like when you hear the axe going onto the chicken's head, everyone around is just like, oh my God. Like, is this what we're supposed to do? Is this like, oh my God. And you see a scene of Ginger crying, and she's like realizing that, she has to get out of here. She has to save everyone. Like, she can't let all these chickens just lay eggs and die. It's very real. It's a very like real reaction, because I feel like in a hoity-toity, stupid like kids movie, they would shy away from that and focus more on the heroics of the escaping. But I like that they did that. And then that same day, Ginger sees Rocky, the rooster, fly in the sky, and she's just like, what? And what just occurred to me now is that the whole premise of the film is genuinely based on the idea that chickens can't fly, which now I'm just realizing is stupid, but also brilliant in its stupidity. Because Ginger sees that Rocky is flying across the sky, and then he crashes into their pen. And then they meet up, and it's the more I think about it, it's very much enemies into lovers kind of thing. But it's kind of a natural thing into enemies into lover. Because they come in and Ginger's just like, you need to teach us how to fly so that we can get out of here. This is our chance. I saw you fly. You can teach us. And Rocky's just like, okay. Yeah, sure, we could do that. Yeah, because it's also brilliant how like Rocky sees it, because Rocky, his wing breaks because he crashes into the thing. And so he's around, he's just like, what the hell's happening? And all the girl chickens, they are like obsessed with him because the only rooster they've seen is this old British rooster called Fowler, who's like, oh, the decrepit cocker, oh, see here, what? So they haven't seen like a fresh young piece of meat in a while, so they're all obsessed with him. And he's just like, well, I mean, I'm here with a bunch of ladies who want me, and like they're gonna kick me out if I don't find a way to stay here. So yeah, I'll teach you how to fly. But he knows he can't fly. It's all a ruse. He got shot out of a cannon. And yeah, they have this whole thing where he's training them, but he's like bullshitting because he needs to like just he's like he just puts on this ruse so that he can like just live in comfort and stay with them because all the women chicken love him. But Ginger kind of sees through it. And it goes on and on and on, and then Tweety is sick of making minuscule profits. So she gets this idea to create chicken pies from the chicken. Because she has a surplus of chickens, and when they lay the eggs, they could just make more chickens. So she's going to make chicken pot pies. And it's like, I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy. Oh, there's so many iconic lines in this. Like I think my favorite is when Babs, one of the wee chicks, she's like, she's very nice. She's just like, oh, hiya, Ginger, you're for an holiday? And Ginger's just like, I wasn't on holiday, Babs. I was in solitary confinement. And she's just like, it's nice to get a bit of time to yourself, isn't it? And then another line she says, which I think is really funny, is, my whole life flashed before my eyes. It was really boring. Stupid. It's so stupid. But anyway, Mrs. Tweety wants to make chicken pies instead of just doing eggs. So they really have to get a move on with this flying thing. And then yeah, there's tension and all that stuff. And then I'm trying to remember what happened. So then oh, yes. Then Rocky's wing finally heals after all the time. So they're just like, oh, your wing is healed. You can fly. You can show us how to fly. And Rocky's just like, oh, fuck. Yeah, okay. And then he bails. And during that time, him and Ginger get to know each other. And there's like a little flirting going on. And it's a really sad scene because Ginger wakes up expecting Rocky to fly. And Rocky's just like, well, Rocky doesn't say anything. Rocky just leaves the poster. And it's revealed that he got shot out of a cannon. It's a very dramatic scene, and it rains. It's really slow, and Ginger reveals the cannon. And like the Scottish chicken is just like, oh, hi, that'll give you a thrust. But does Ginger get down in the dirt and is sad about it? Yeah, she's sad for about 5 minutes, and they're all fighting each other. And she realizes Fowler was in the RAF, the Royal Air Force, and she's just like, how did you fly in the RAF? And Fowler's just like, in the planes. And Ginger's just like, fuck Rocky, we are making our own plane, and we are doing this now. And it just something snaps in Ginger because she's just like, okay, I've messed up, and I've put my faith into the wrong person. and I need to get these chickens out. He doesn't matter anymore. He literally doesn't matter anymore. I can't be mad at him anymore. I need to get my friends and my sisters out. So he's just like, we're doing this. And she like takes it like fucking by the reins, because she's like, we're building a plane, we're doing this, and we're going out. And even when the farmer catches them, she's just like, I don't give a fuck. We're not hiding anymore. Attack that motherfucker. They literally jump him. They jump the farmer. They jump him. They're just like, attack! Oh, and then they attack him and they build the plane. And then Rocky realizes what he's done and he tries to come back. And like, there's a whole scene where they need the ramp to be up so they can fly out of there. And it's all tense. And then there's a big showdown between Mrs. Tweedy and Ginger, where you think she's cut off her head, but she ducked, and then they snap the string, and yeah. And then Ginger, maybe my only criticism is that Ginger forgave him too quickly. But, this is a small thing. But, yeah, and then they live happily ever after in their chicken farm, in their island paradise that they found. Yeah, I love Chicken Run. I fucking love it. It's such like I think for me, it's one of my comfort films from my childhood, because I could watch that film over and over and over again and never get tired of it. Yeah. So I saw the sequel. Now, I remember it was kind of a joke on Twitter back between, like, I think 2014 and 2016, maybe 2017. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Or even 2018. That people were just like, sequel this, sequel that, sequel to this, sequel to that, whatever. I want a sequel to Chicken Run. People like it's just like a random stupid meme. Like, what's the most? But people were quite serious. People were just like, this needs a sequel. Like, this was one of the greatest films of all time. This needs a sequel. So I think in 2018 or 2019, they wait. Let me premise. Okay, whatever. Production. Yep. So in 2018, they announced that a sequel to Chicken Run was in the works. And yeah, so I saw it 2 days ago because it's being released in cinemas for like 2 weeks, and then it's coming out on Netflix tomorrow. So you have no excuse not to see it. It's on Netflix worldwide tomorrow. And yeah, I really liked it. It really expands on the story, and it's still the same silliness. It's still the same kind of like dark scenes as well, and also kind of scary at some points. Like, it's about so basically it's kind of a reverse of the first one, where it's like, we have to escape this place, let's get out. This sequel is someone gets kidnapped and they have to break in to rescue that person. Which I think it might be obvious to do that, but I thought, there's nothing wrong with going for the obvious. And you see new villains, and you also have old ones returning, which is I took over a year off and gave you bitches some slack. She's back. Mrs. Tweedy enters the room. Stupid. Oh, it's so stupid. And yeah, it's funny. You see old characters you like. You have new ones. There's a Scouse chicken, which I really like. I kind of wish that they gave her more like character. Like, we kind of took more time to get to know her. And it makes sense because Ginger and Rocky, they're like, well, we've made it. We survived. Let's leave the past in the past and just focus on the future with our kid, and just let's protect her. So obviously Ginger's quite a hard-headed, feisty woman. So their daughter is like the same thing. So the daughter really wants to escape and explore the world, but Ginger is still traumatized by Mrs. Tweedy and being in that farm, that she doesn't want that to happen to her daughter. So she's very much like, we can never have this happen again. we need to just hide, stay in our islands, and just yeah, it's understandable why she would be like that because it was traumatic what she went through. So she's just like Molly, who the daughter is, who I was worried. I was worried that the Molly was going to be annoying, but she and Bella Ramsey, they play Molly, who brilliantly bring them to life. She's Molly's charming. She's charming, she's sweet, and she's young. You just have you. I keep forgetting that she's a child, and this is why she's acting like this. And so she obviously pinning down a child and telling them that they can't go out only makes the child want to go out more. So Molly escapes, gets kidnapped by this new farm, and where the theory is if the theory is that if you're a tense and scared chicken, your meat will be horrible. But if you're a happy chicken who willingly dies, your meat will be fresh. So they create these collars that make the chickens happy, mindlessly, like just these puppets happy. And literally, there's one scene. Oh yeah, sorry for spoilers, but whatever. There's this one scene where, like, they wear these collars, and the professor, like Tweety, presses a button, and it makes the chicken just willingly and happily go into the grinder to be made into chicken nuggets. It's a horrifying scene. It's really like, whoa. And even the whole premise of them in this like amazing playground just playing, and then all of a sudden they're walking into walls or they're like falling over, and Molly's just like, what's going on? Yeah, the realization from some people, like I think Ginger's realization that she needs to like this will never end, like for chickens everywhere, because you can't, like there are chickens everywhere who need to be saved, which was I really liked it. And the only thing I didn't like about it was that it focused, or it gave too many jokes about how this is a sequel. So like, for example, they discover that the humans have made a road that's right beside their island. So Ginger's just like, meeting. And in the first one, they would usually have meetings on how to escape. And all the chickens in the sequel are like, oh, not this again. Wonder what's going on this time. Oh, I thought we left this in the past. And like other things, like they would make jokes about like, oh, well, last time we did this, but this time we're doing this. One or two, or maybe even three, were funny. Like, haha, oh yeah, that happened in the first one. It kind of got to a point where it was annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was just like, okay, we get it. You're a sequel. Can you like do new jokes? That was the only like thing that was just annoying to me. Like, I was like, yeah, I was just like, okay, Jesus Christ, we get it. You're a sequel. Let's move on. And it does move on. But for like the first 15 minutes, I would say that they delve heavy into the nostalgia-esque of the first one. So yeah, that kind of like pulled me out of it a bit. And it's visually wonderful. Like the stop motion animation is a visual spectacular. Like I was watching it and I was just like, how did they do that? This is so beautiful. This is so like, and then certain shots where like they'd have miniatures against big ones and all that stuff. And it was just gorgeous. Truly, truly gorgeous. Yeah. It just brought a sense of nostalgia, but also it was new. And it left what I liked about it is that it left the playing field open for a new one. And I think they will, because I think this will be a hit when it hits Netflix, because people are going to be like wanting something to watch during the Christmas period. I think this will be a hit. This will be a hit. Yeah. So I would give it an 8 out of 10. I'm digging at the 2 points just because of the overzealous jokes on nostalgia. and atmosphere and like all that stuff. And oh, what's the fucking word I use? I literally use it all the time. Experience of it. It was just fun. I was just sitting in the cinema. I was having a fun time. Just fun, youthful, just crazy, silly. Yeah. Yeah. Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nuggets. Comes out on Netflix tomorrow. Go see it. Yes. Now, I said I'm gonna quickly talk about now two of my favorite pieces of Christmas media, and then I'm gonna talk about another thing real quick, which is a movie that will be on my top 10 list, most definitely, unless something knocks it down, because there's so much I have to see. I have to see, um, I have to see The Holdovers because I'm so pedantic because it's so annoying being in the UK because it's getting better now, but a lot of films they like get released a month still after they get released in America, which is fine. Like, I can still get it, but I'm so pedantic that my top 10 films of 2023, I have to have seen it between January 1st of 2023 to December 31st of 2023, which is so annoying because January to February, a lot of these Oscar movies come out. So I don't really include those in my top 10 list because they were 2023, but it's now 2024. And I know I like my way and I have a system and I like it. But so I have to see The Boy and the Heron. I have to see The Holdovers. I have to see. I really wish I could watch Nimona. No, not Nimona. Poor Things. I'll see if I can watch it in America because I know for a fact it's out in the cinemas in America. There's also a bunch of other stuff. Wait, I have this on my phone. Whenever I'm in doubt, I always just make lists on my phone. The Color Purple, I have to see, but I can see that definitely in America because it comes out on Christmas. And American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright. I really want to see those. So, yes. Now, I'm going to talk about two Christmas things that I love to watch every year. One of them is The Muppet Christmas Carol. Now, The Muppet Christmas Carol, everyone will just say, I think unanimously, people agree that this is the best adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol? Yeah, Christmas Carol. Jesus. And it's just because of the way they incorporate the language of the old book with also the contemporary language of the Muppets, which is brilliant. And also the performance of Michael Caine and how he, I think, I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, I am treating these Muppets as if they are true actors, like real flesh and blood in front of me, and I'm going to act so serious. This is the most serious role I will ever do. And it works in a sense because you get so involved with his performance, and his performance is so true that you almost forget that he's speaking to Kermit the Frog, that he's speaking to a giant 7-foot Ghost of Christmas Present Santa Claus. And the music is amazing. The atmosphere is great. It doesn't delve away from the scary parts of A Christmas Carol or the sad parts, like the scene when Tiny Tim dies and they're figuring out the plans for the funeral. Like, it's a very heartfelt scene and the family's reaction to it are very real. And then the scene when they're in the graveyard and it's Ebenezer Scrooge's grave and the ghost of Christmas yet to come appears. And yeah. And the music. The music is so good. The music is banging. And yeah, and the way they use Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat as the narrators as Charles Dickens. Gonzo is Charles Dickens, which is just really fun, and Rizzo's just like, no, you're not, and Gonzo's just like, yes, I am, and Rizzo's just like, no, you're not, you are Gonzo, and he's just like, there's one joke where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm Charles Dickens. And Rizzo's just like, Charles Dickens was an incredible writer of the past, like, 100 years. And Gonzo just goes, oh, why, thank you. Like, stupid shit like that. But I watch it every year, and I think there's an innocence to it because, I don't know, the Muppets, I think, the Muppets, like, people are like, because Muppet media has not been coming out as much as it was before. So I think that there is a hunger for it. I think the Muppet Studios just needs to find their Christmas Carol again. And honestly, I think what they need to do is take a modern or a newer material and just muppify it. Muppify it in the sense that there's one live actor and the rest are Muppets. Like The Great Gatsby. Like if they did a Muppet version of The Great Gatsby, which which would be weird, and I think they'd have to like PG-13 it, but maybe not Great Gatsby, but I don't know. But if they did that and just found something they could just sink their teeth into, then I think, because I think there is a hunger for the Muppets. I love the Muppets. The Muppets are so funny. The Muppets are so stupid. It's like, it's just that old vaudeville humor and that like waka waka jokes that I think, and those jokes I think are universal, because these are just like, they're just stupid like jokes. Like there's no edge to them, which I think people want. People want just stupid humor. Anyway, it's a Muppet Christmas Carol. And then the other one I watch, excuse me. So Muppet Christmas Carol, 10 out of 10. Watch it every year. Love it. The other one I watch is called A Muppet Family Christmas. This was in 1974. I would say this is like almost the height or maybe the peak of the Muppets' popularity, because at that time you had The Muppet Show, Sesame Street, and Fraggle Rock all being commercial successes. I need to double check if that's, wait, let me I need to double check if that's the year. Okay, so The Muppet Show had finished and was off the air for a couple of years, but still, they were still quite popular, and they're releasing like new Muppet material, and Sesame Street was still out. And yes, so this was like the peak of all of them. And it's just a simple story about Fozzie going home to his mom and bringing all of his friends over for Christmas. That's it. And there's a storm that almost makes Piggy miss her flight. That's it. And they just have little segments. Like there's a segment where Big Bird and the Swedish Chef have a song together. And then there's a segment where Gonzo tries to save the turkey from the Swedish Chef. And then there's a segment where the Sesame Street characters all come in and they sing a song. Then there's one where Kermit and his nephew Robin go down a hole and they find the Fraggles in Fraggle Rock, and they talk about like gift giving and all that stuff. And it's so heartwarming and it's so pure, and it's the culmination of not all of Jim Henson's work, but just of what the Muppets were at that point and what they still are. And there's a whole bit where Fozzie and a snowman become like this comedy duo, and it's just so much fun to watch, and it's just so fun. It's fun. It's stupid, and it's just enjoyment. It's entertaining. I am entertained. Like I really love it. I literally watch it every year during the Christmas time, and I love it. I truly do. I think it's just so fun. Yes. Yeah. Those two, Muppet Family Christmas. I put it up on my Instagram before. Please watch it. It's only 45 minutes and it's all on YouTube, and it's just pure bliss. Pure Christmas bliss. And now the final thing I'm going to talk about is this little animated film that came out, I believe, a month ago. And in that month, I've watched the film in full 9 times. Like, it's become one of those movies that I don't know why, but I just really like it. Yeah, I just I am just so fond of it. It is the 2023 animated film called Leo. And Leo is an American animated musical comedy film with Adam Sandler as a lizard. Now, I know what you're thinking. Adam Sandler. Is it like stupid, gross out humor? Is it like just silly kid humor? And yes, some points are, but there's something just so charming about it, and it's genuinely really funny. Like, I found myself watching certain episodes and not episodes, sorry. Just watching it over and over again, and I was just like, "Oh, hey, that was quite funny. Oh, fuck, that was funny. Oh, shit, that's hilarious. Oh, he just made a noise. That was funny. Oh, wait, this is actually getting heartfelt. Oh, he's actually giving good advice." So it goes in like peaks and waves. Like, I remember when I first watched it, I was just like, "Oh, I saw a trailer for this and it doesn't really look that great, but I'll give it a watch. I like animation." And I will say the animation is a bit rough. It's like you can tell there was a strict budget. But if you get past that, it's just a really sweet tale about this lizard. So basically, it's a story about this old lizard that lives in a classroom. It's a classroom pet with its friend, turtle friend. It's 74 years old, and he finds out that his kind of lizards, they don't live past the age of 75. So he's like, "Oh, I've wasted my life. I need to escape, and I need to go into the wild and truly live." So he tries to escape by when the kids take him home to take care of him. And every time he does, he doesn't. But each kid has their own set of problems. And the first time he goes over to the kid's house, he's just like, "Okay, well, why don't you?" He starts talking to them, and he's like, "Oh, just don't tell anyone I can talk to you because it's a secret." Woo! And he helps them with their problems. And so he goes along and he keeps trying to escape, but then always just ends up helping the kids with their problems, to the point where he just goes home with these kids and helps them with their problems, and that's his new purpose. He likes doing it, and it gives him joy. Yeah, that's basically it. And then he helps the teacher, and then the teacher likes him, and all that stuff. And it's a musical, and I will admit that a lot of the songs are not good. A lot of the songs are like are very poorly. Like the first 60%, maybe 70% of the songs are like, eh. They're like, okay. But the thing is that they're not that long. So the songs are very, like, almost short. So you're like listening to the song and you're just like, "Oh, this is not really a great song." But then it ends and I'm just like, "Okay, cool. I didn't have to suffer through that." And then the songs that are good, they're just the perfect amount of length that you're just like, "Oh, fab. Yay, I like this. This is a good beat. This is a very good beat." And Bill Hader, is it Bill Hader? Bill Hader. No, it's not Bill Hader. It's Bill Burr. Oh, and Jason Alexander. Yeah, Jason Alexander is the dad. And it's self-aware. It's very self-aware of its own thing. Like it's self-aware of its own thing, because there's one point where the one of the girls is singing about how she feels like she's annoying because she can't stop talking. And then the lizard is just like, "I get it. You can stop." And the lizard's just like, I'm sorry, it's just that last verse, it wasn't even a rhyme, it was a repeat. And you're just like, oh, fuck. It realizes that it's singing. So I think the self-awareness kind of like makes you self-aware that, oh, this is a stupid kids film about a lizard. Okay, I can have fun with this. It doesn't take itself seriously. Like in its morals and its values, when the lizard does give advice to the kids, it is somewhat serious. But having the lizards and almost the kids be kind of self-aware in a sense makes you feel at ease that when it does go into its serious points, you're taken aback. You're like, oh, I thought this was just a silly kids movie, but now it's actually like having a valuable lesson, and it's actually tugging at my heartstrings. Because it's the type of movie, like, when you hear Adam Sandler animated lizard film, your expectations are already kind of set. So they have realized this and have gone, we know what you're expecting, so we're going to give you what you expected, but then we're going to do a bit of a 180. Which I appreciate them doing, because I appreciate that. Because it's like when you go to see a new Pixar animated film, you expect incredible animation, amazing script writing, and just something that will make you cry. Just something of a good quality standard. And most of the time, Pixar, they knock it out of the park. You're like, oh, this is very sophisticated. This is extremely heartfelt. This is the Pixar standard that I'm used to. With this one, like I said before, it's an Adam Sandler poo poo pee pee lizard film. So you're like, they're like, okay, it's this film, but we know it's this film. We're aware, but let's take you on a different path. Which I really, really, really appreciated. I think that's why I keep coming back to it. I'm telling you, I've watched this film so many times. I literally turn it on for background noise at this point. And I don't just put on anything for background noise. I don't know if any of you relate to this, but if you need like just something on in the background, a lot of people that's Friends. A lot of people it's Modern Family. A lot of people it's The Simpsons. For me, it has to be something very specific. Sometimes it's what do I put on in the background sometimes? Heartstopper is a big one that I put on in the background. Maybe even Family Guy, American Dad are big ones that I put on in the background, because it doesn't take a lot of thinking for me to enjoy it, which is bad to say, even though when I first watched it and I was focused, I did enjoy it. But I've seen it before and I can watch it. Leo has joined the roster. I literally clicked that film on, and I'm like on my laptop doing my bits and bobs, or I'm like doing like eating, or I'm like just doing something where I'm not focusing on the TV. I just pop on Leo. And it's such a success. It was like number one for at least 2 weeks, and I think it got more streams. Well, I don't know how this equates to money-wise, but it was released the same week that Disney's 100th, Disney's celebrating their 100th year, their like animated film that was released in their 100th year. It it destroyed Wish in terms of review, in terms of streaming, in terms of likability, and in terms of profit. Like Wish, now I can't say much I can't say much about Wish because I haven't seen it. But from the reviews and from what people are saying is that it's quite a poor film. It's not good. Now, obviously I need to see it, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm probably going to wait until it releases on Disney Plus, and I predict it's going to be released on Disney Plus either the end of January or the beginning of February. So I'll probably watch it then. So, but Leo has gotten more, Yeah, it just kind of swept the floor with it, which is crazy. An Adam Sandler animated film got better reviews, better streaming than Disney's 100th year celebration animated film. A Disney princess musical. That's wild. That is truly wild. Times are a-changin'. The times are a-changin'. But that's my review of Leo. I'm honestly going to give Leo, I think, an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's a good one. 8.5 out of 10. And just silly, goofy humor was my experience of it. Like, that's how it made me feel. And it made me, like, humor. Like, I actually laughed out loud at some of the jokes. But, yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about this week. I'm so excited because we are now entering award season. Sorry, I just have to check my... Oh, yeah. We are entering award season. Award season is my favorite season. Awards. It's my favorite season. We've just started off with the nominations for the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards have just been announced. So we'll be getting a lot more nominations announced throughout this month and January, which will be very fun. And yeah, it looks like Barbie is leading the field, like, because from the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice, it's gotten the most nominations. Now, here's a question, because obviously Barbie, great film, but specifically in the Best Original Song category, because I know for a fact that back in 2009, when The Princess and the Frog was released, they nominated 3 of the songs from that film in Best Original Song at the Oscars. Now, this caused them to change the rules that only 2 songs from a major motion picture can be nominated in the same category. So far, Dance the Night, I'm Just Ken, and What Was I Made For have been nominated in the same category as a Best Original Song. Now, I'm wondering which of the 3 is going to go when it gets to the Oscars. Because I know for a fact that they can't nominate 3. So one of them has to go. I think, and this is the most likely one, I think, it's going to be Dance the Night is going to get the chop. And that I'm Just Ken and What Was I Made For. But I could see them cutting I'm Just Ken and putting in Dance the Night, because I know for a fact that they want to open the Oscars with a big Barbie mega mix dance party. So I don't know. We're getting into awards season. I will be giving my full-length review of what I think should be nominated, what should win, and I'm so excited to talk about that. And yes, so this is, we're at the end. Thank you so much for listening to me. My name is Terrence Crystal, and this has been the Triple Threat Podcast. I am on Apple Podcast. I am on Spotify. I'm on Amazon Podcast. You can listen to me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, the Triple Threat Podcast. I release new videos every week, and I will see you guys in 2024. So exciting. Thank you so much for listening to me this year. It's been a tumultuous thing doing a podcast. It's been up and down, me missing severe chunks of time, me missing weeks. Yes, I do acknowledge that I have missed weeks, but like I said before, I'm going to promise to keep on giving you guys content because, I want you to listen to it, and I love doing it. I love talking about films and movie and music. I think it's great. So, yes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in 2024. Bye.